the Georgia Open qualifier. So far, I'm 0 for 2 in qualifiers on the year. And this being my third, and one that I've previously qualified for, it brings a lot of hope. This is my chance to finally qualify and to prove to myself that I can do this. So let's go. Here at Berkeley Hills a week before practice round, but this is for the Georgia Open. I have qualified at this course for the Georgia Open, so we have good spirits here. That should be good. And there's Bo.
Hey.
My playing partner for today. Playing for a Cup of Joe.
Cup of Joe.
There we go. So I'm currently 1 over through 8 holes. And the one thing I've seen and kind of learning as I come through this is chipping. The greens are very sandy. They're checking when you hit the chip shot, so I'm gonna have to carry the ball more towards the pin. So that's something I'm not used to right now. So if I can do that, we'll be good. So that's a learning experience. Just bogeyed a hole 8 to get to 1 over. So yeah, I feel good. Hitting the ball great. Irons are good. Let's keep on cruising. So the time that I qualified here, I shot 71. Got second place by myself. So if we can recreate that, I think we'll be in the Georgia Open. Shot 5 over.
I owe Luke a coffee.
Yeah,
bad.
we're gonna need a little bit better coming next Monday.
Yeah.
It's out there though.
It is.
It's out there.
It's
so
gettable. It's gettable. Stay in the
we
fairway.
learn from today, and we execute on Monday.
That's right, dude.
Let's go.
Let's attack.
Let's go. This channel isn't just about golf. It's about chasing potential and figuring out what you and I are capable of, and also doing the hard things that make us grow. So I try to make every video better than the last, more honest, more helpful, and lastly, more real. So if you love these tournament vlogs and the behind the scenes and just the realistic part about golf, I'd love it if you subscribed. It tells me to keep going, and it also tells me that this matters. Either way, I'm grateful that you're here, and let's keep building. Here we go. I started on the back 9 here at Berkeley Hills, and I decided to just hit a little 4-iron up the gut because it's such a tight tee shot, and I hit a little right, or fed right off the hill. Then I hit a 7-iron layup, because it's optimal to hit the fairway, and I missed it just a tad right, ran through, had 100 yards, hit this pretty good, but it just hit the top of the hill and spun back down, leaving myself with this putt roughly 36 feet up the hill, and I hit it pretty good past. Had about a 5-footer here on the first hole for a par. Hit a good putt and dropped it. Always good to start with a par. Always good to not have a bogey start. Had an 8-iron here, roughly 152 yards down the hill, smooth 8-iron. This one never left the pin, and I hit it to about 2 feet and tapped it in for a birdie. So a good start, 1 under through 2. That's what we like to see. This was a good tee ball, hit it right down the middle, and it left me with a pretty solid approach here, about 100 yards. Hit a 50-degree, looked really good in the air, bounced right over the pin, but it didn't spin. It's interesting. The greens are still relatively new, about 2 years old, so they still hop a little weird. So I hit it up there just short, tap it in for par. Still cruising. Long par 4. This one was just bleeding right. And it ended up catching the front right bunker right there on that side. This was a tough shot. Caught it chunky. Luckily I hit it pretty straight, which kept me in the fairway. Fairways were optimal out here, so the rough was not fun. And I hit a little 54-yard shot here. Just knew I nuked it off the start, so it left me with a 20-footer for a par. And left it just a tad short. Cleaned it up though. Bogey, I was like, okay, whatever. Let's go. This one was downhill, and I hit a baby 6-iron, but I hit it so good, and it hit the back part of the green and rolled up the hill, leaving myself a little tricky shot here. I was trying to feed down that hill, but I had about 4 feet here, swinging left to right. And it just turned so hard. So I ended up missing that, making another bogey. So over par, I was like, okay, it's whatever. Got the par 5 here. In the practice round, I missed it so far left that I knew I wasn't going left here. Hit a big cut up on the right side, but right was way better than the left. So I had a 4-iron, trying to hit it over these trees. Managed to do that, and it actually ended up a lot better than I thought it was going to end up. It left me with about 60 yards. And I was just trying to run this one up, just a big hop, but it didn't catch a big hop, leaving about 12 feet short. Drop. Let's go. Back to even par. And I knew if I could get it to even for the day, or 1 under, I knew it would be really close. So par 4, hit this one left, but it got a pretty generous kick out to the right, and it left me with something playable. So I had a little baby 6-iron here, about 175 yards out, and it knuckled out of that rough, and you can see it hits the right side of that green, and just off the back, but not that bad. So I hit a little 60-degree here, a little chip up, hit it really good to about 3 feet. Just to clean it up. Got it. Good job, good job. Even par. Through 7 holes. Tough tee shot. Hit this one really good. That's a tight little narrow spot right there, so I knew if I could get a good drive here, we're off to a good start. And I did, and I had about 105 yards. Hit my wedge left. And it was a very gettable pin, and I just missed it. Chipped it down there, and it just didn't feed the way I thought it was gonna feed. And a tricky little putt. And I missed. That's one I wanted back, because you bogeying from 100 yards is no bueno. Hit a good drive here on my 9th hole, the 18th hole. Had a weird little yardage here. I was trying to hammer a 7, and I ended up pulling it left. And I was right next to this bush. So I'm just trying to get out of here. And it got caught up in the rough and hit a sprinkler head and stopped it even more. So I'm trying to get this up and down for a bogey. Hit it about 5 feet short. And just barely miss. So at this point, I'm like 3 over. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 3 over in the last 2 holes. It's like, let's just get after it on this back 9. And I hit this one a little right, and it caught that right bunker, which is not fun at all. So this was a tough shot, came out right. And right really wasn't the miss with this pin, as I had to flop it over and I flew it a little long, leaving myself about a 15-footer for a par, and I didn't think it was gonna break that far right, but it did. And yeah, another bogey, 4 over my last 3. This is a longer par 4, and I hit it so far right, it was amazing. I've never seen myself hit it so far right on this hole. So then I had a 6-iron trying to just get it back into play, and it fell down right there toward those other trees, and this was a weird lie, and I chunk it, and then this had a root underneath it, and I chunk it. I was very frustrated, and then I hit a pretty good chip shot here, leaving myself about a 4-footer, and I made the double bogey. But just like that, I'm 6 over, and I was like, what in the world? So par 5, I almost ripped a driver because I was 6 over, and I was like, I gotta make something happen, but I stuck to my game plan, and I missed this one a little right, but it's still in play, and I knew I just needed to lay up on this one. Hit a good layup shot with a 6-iron, and it fed down, leaving myself around 80 yards. Hit this one up there, a little right, but I had about 20 feet for a birdie chance, and I just needed the STX to wake up. And it dripped in. Let's go. Come on now. Made a birdie, back to 5 over. This was a tough par 3, playing around 215 yards. I had a 4-iron, leaked a little right, but it got a very generous kick back to the left, onto the or the right fringe of the screen. And I had about another 20-footer off the green. And this one would track the whole way. And there it is, birdie, back to 4 over. You know, it's weird because I felt like I was hitting it good going into this tournament, and also felt good hitting it all the way to this point. But those last 3 holes were just, I mean, that 3-hole stretch was just crazy. Or really 4 holes. So yeah, I missed this one a little right and just lag it up there and get my par. So I'm still 4 over, trying to get back to just a few over to see if I have a chance. I didn't look at leaderboards because I don't like to. I try not to. So I had 100 yards here, and I missed it a little right. As you can tell, my wedges didn't have it. Like, I had a lot of wedge opportunities that it didn't hit close enough from 100 yards. And I almost made that one for another birdie, but tap in for a par. But yeah, the wedges needed some work for this round right here. Par 5 went up the left side over those trees, but I must have caught a really bad bounce because it got stuck behind this big tree. I mean, look at that thing. And so I had to hit a rope hook around the tree, and I actually roped it too hard, and it left me in the left rough. And this was a tough shot, and it just caught that tree. Oh. And it came down, and yucky. Not what you want. Had around 70 yards. Hit a little 60-degree up there with about 12 feet, trying to manage to not make a bogey, and I did. So I'm back to 5 over. And I knew at this point, I was like, okay, let's just finish strong. Maybe something crazy happened. But the irons were good. Directionally, the contact was a little hit or miss. And so this one I barely missed short. But honestly, the leave was good. Hit an 8-iron sweep. And this was a good chip shot. It just, barely miss. That's an easy tap in for a par. And then my last hole, number 9, but my 18th. Hit a great drive. And the driver for the most part was good besides a few shots. It really only cost me that double. And so I had about 135 up the hill, hit a smooth 9-iron. And I hit it really good, just a little short. And I had about 20 feet up the hill, trying to end on a birdie and just barely miss. And that is for a 5-over to finish this. So that is 5 over 77. Really, I mean, honestly, it wasn't bad considering those 4 holes. I was 6 over and I finished 5 over. So on those other holes, I played 1 under, but hey, you got to play 18 holes in golf. So yeah, what I kind of took away from it was I didn't hit enough greens. I think I added it up. 6 greens, not enough. And with my game, if I hit 12 to 13 greens, I'm going to play really well. If I hit more than that, I'm going to play really, really good. And so, yeah, I'm really just trying to be better about hitting more greens because I know I rely a lot on my short game. And so if my short game isn't there, it's going to be a long day, but I can scramble around a lot. So I just got to get better at hitting greens and being very methodical on that aspect. But, you know, there's a lot of positives. The irons were a lot better than they have been, just barely off. And so that's what I'm taking away from this round. 1 under got in for sure. Even par got into an alternate spot into the Georgia Open. So we didn't make it this year, but we're going to keep building and, you know, we're just going to keep being persistent and getting after it. If there's one thing you guys know about me is I'm just going to keep going and keep going until one day I make it. I love you guys and thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Let's go.